Melissa is there. Wayne Wilson in the Nissan Maxima is there. Talking about Wayne Wilson and Nissan Maximas, if you, Clinton beside note, going into Castrol, just throwing that car sideways. Dylan Hubert is there. Talking about Wayne Wilson and the Maximas, we're going to see Wayne Wilson and the whole Maxima crew again on the 23rd of August at the next round of the Killarney Rallycross and the Tarmac Attack of Janeda Meet. That's the Raceweb Tarmac Attack, which was called the old All-Tar last year. It's now and even the beginning of the year. It's now called the Tarmac Attack, and I tell you what, that is magic stuff. The 23rd, we're going to do something different, Gaza. They're going to do relay racing. So the first race of the day will be relay racing, and then we'll get to session 1, 2, 3, semi-finals and finals before the end. And we had close to 60 cars last week, Saturday. Not quite. Somebody would, let's say around about 55, but don't want to exaggerate.
Probably one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And I was.
And you were supposed to be there, but you had trouble with your drive.
Yeah, unfortunately, the car that I was going to be using from Traction Drive picked up a problem with the All-Tar and started spewing a bit of oil in areas it wasn't supposed to. So that brought that to an end. But as soon as that one's sorted out, or Gerard Kloppers' car gets sorted out, and then one of Wayne Wilson's Maximas will become available, then we will do another series like what we did on the spinning pitch, or one of those sessions that we did on the skid pan with traction driving, and we'll stick that up on second gear on the next Tuesday night. So for all the information that you want on motorsport, second gear, 8 o'clock Tuesday night on Facebook, and includes lots of information on Killarney International as well. So they're going to do another lap around, which is quite surprising. I don't know if they maybe cleaned the track somewhere and they wanted the people to have a look-see. So on the invert, Michael Lucia and Jess Huggett will be on the front row of the grid with Pretorius and Lambert Jr., Yaku. Then Carl Visser, that makes up the front five, and that is Class A. That will be leading this field out for race number 2. Thermofire Clubman's race number 2 for this first event for the month of August. And there's another one, as Frankie said, at the top end of the show, the last weekend of this month as well.
And then just before that, on the 23rd, will be the next all-day rallycross. Folks, you've got to come and watch this. It's now, whatever it was, whatever you've seen, whatever you didn't like in the past, forget it. Write that off. It is something completely, utterly, totally different. It is now working, thanks to the likes of Gerard Kloppers and Barry Williams and Jean van Wyk from E36s and Janeda Mead from Raceweb. They are making this work big time. And the 23rd of August, I believe, is going to be another major success.
Yep, no doubt about it. And then also the latest information we will have on Tuesday night on the hill climb. That's going to be at, I think it's the 24th, 25th of October. And that will be on the Philip Kasana Drive as you go out of Cape Town. A multi-million rand endeavor that's going down there to bring premier hill climb to Cape Town. All right, so let's see how this one's going to play itself out. Jess Huggett, that ended up 5th behind that group of 4 very quick motor cars. It's a whole lot cooler now than what it was earlier on. I see Cody Albert starting off the back end of the pack with the Alpha. It's an ex-road going vehicle that they decided they're going to turn it into race mode. and this is the first time that he's out with that motor car.
All right, we just saw a glimpse of the Alpha there of Cody. There it goes. But it's the first time he's put this car out, and it turns the wheel in anger as the lights go off. And away we go, racing down into turn number 1, into block coin. It's Michael Lucia that will lead that pack through. Jaco Lambert sits right on the outside. Jess Huggett sits side by side with MP Pretorius as they work their way out of block coin corner onto the Joubert straight. They go, Pretorius right there with Huggett. Behind Huggett, it is Kyle Visser. Behind Kyle Visser, it is Gary Smith. Right behind Gary Smith, it's Van Rooyen. Then we've got Clinton Besaidenout. Behind Clinton Besaidenout is Wayne Wilson and Dylan Hubert. That's an old group of cars and more that I just mentioned that's racing through Lundstem Kink and into Damstip.
Oh, Michael Lucia is losing out pretty badly. He's dropped down from that pole position down to 4th already. So, yeah, the power of those front 4 Class A cars just climbing in there, getting the hammer down. And look at that. It's Lambert down the back main. He's up, dusted and disappeared. Visser has now got up into that 2nd position. And then directly in behind him is Jesse Huggett that started in 2nd. Then it's Michael Lucia. Then it is Pretorius is the next one that is up and alongside Michael Lucia.
Yeah, Michael Lucia was in P1 for quite some time, and all of a sudden Lucia finds himself just ahead of Pretorius. So something must have happened out there between turn 3 and 4, between Damps and Saddle. Because there he goes, just ahead of Pretorius, followed there by Smith. And then Wilson, Besaidenout, Van Rooyen all coming through in that fight, followed there by Joubert and Steve Griffin-Wintle. And then Gemma O'Lean in P12. She's the first of the lady races.
Oh, Carl Visser is going to have to hoof it up because Lambert is doing a brilliant job. Meeting for meeting, just getting quicker and quicker, more and more confident, and mainly more and more consistent.
Right, so it's all about that man that sits now in P1. That's Jaco Lambert with Carl Visser in 2nd. Then Jess Huggett is there in 3rd. That's 1, 2, and 3. Then behind him, we've got Lucia. Right on the case of Lucia, it's MP Pretorius as they go down that back straight with Gary Smith right there on his bootlet as they work their way into Pertamina Fostron. And right there with them in Class X is the Maxima of Wayne Wilson.
Yeah, Smith is now right there in behind that Polo and starting to close down. But look at the battles behind that. Class C is Joubert from Gemma O'Lean. And then the Class E battle is Detoy from Fielding.
Right as the field works its way through, we go back there into turn number 1 into Blockway, and that is Van Rooyen. That's coming through. There's the BMW of Dylan Hubert. Then it's Steve Griffin-Wintle. Gemma O'Lean is right in that fight together with David Vermaak. And then Anton Jacobs in that very old steed of his, the Nissan Sentra, that's served him well over the years.
Jaco Lambert has put up the fastest that time, a 121.714, leading out from Carl Visser, 2 Class A cars. Then Jess Huggett, and behind Jess Huggett it was Michael Lucia. That's now swapped around. It's Pretorius that has worked his way past Lucia.
So the leaders are working their way into turn 5, into Pertamina Fostron. Nearly said block point corner. That's turn number 1. But here we go. Keeping an eye. There goes Pretorius. Here comes Lucia. Right on his case is Gary Smith. Right on the case there of Michael Lucia. Then we've got Wayne Wilson. Right there behind Wayne Wilson is Clinton Besaidenout. Then we've got Graham Van Rooyen. And hot on his heels is Dylan Hubert. Then Steve Griffin-Wintle and lady racer in the BMW, Gemma O'Lean.
Well, I do not believe Carl Visser has closed realistically the gap to that first position. Jess Huggett that ended up behind that group of 4 in race number 1. Started in 2nd position alongside Michael Lucia and has now got himself into a pretty solid 3rd. but there is still 5 laps to go. Don't know what's going to happen from here.
Jabir goes into turn 2, then Griffin Wintle, then O'Lean, then it's Arno Michaels, David Vermaak, Anton Jacobs and Bernard Lehman in the Opel, and then it's Arendse coming through, and then we see Cody Alberts in the Alpha just ahead there of the Falcon of Evert de Toy. Leaders are working their way out of Pertamina Fostron, heading on to the main straight. There we pick up this fight between Jess Huggett on the outside and MP Pretorius on his inside. The man from Cape Town and the man from Windhoek. We follow them through, then right behind them is Michael Lucia. Behind Lucia is a yellow BMW of Gary Smith, and he's been hassled there by that Nissan Maxima of Wayne Wilson.
Yeah, behind Wayne Wilson is Clinton Bezuidenhout, new to the Clubman side of the world. Bit of a gap then behind him as we go to Van Rooyen in the red Golf that's just gone through out of your picture. Then we've got Jabir, there's our lady racer Gemma, and she loses out to Griffin Wintle that dives up on the inside. Honor Michaels from Mark Lehman, and then Jacobs that works his way through.
Now then we've got Arendse, that's right there, Cody Alberts and Evert de Toy. Working our way onto this golden highway as the cars come through. MP Pretorius, Jess Huggett, Michael Lucia, Gary Smith, all filtering through. Wayne Wilson, Clinton Bezuidenhout, Graham van Rooyen, all heading down into turn 5 into Pertamina Fostron. Dylan Jabir coming through as well as we watch the field working their way through. But there's your race leader. We haven't seen him for a while, and that is Jaco Lambert, as he is nearly 2 seconds ahead of Visser, that's in that second position.
Yep, and then here comes a battle for third and fourth. It's Jess Huggett that gets that inside line and gets ahead of Pretorius. Eventually, he's past MP, and Smith has dropped a little bit back. He was right there and thereabouts, so Smith has dropped a bit back, but he's also finds himself behind Michael Lucia.
Yeah, nice fight that's going on heading towards us, and that is Clinton Bezuidenhout, and he's having a go at Graham van Rooyen. Bezuidenhout and van Rooyen going one-on-one out of Castrol.
Yeah, nothing much between the two of them, and I do believe there's a realistic chance of a pass, although they open up a bit of a gap between them now as they came past the back marker, and with a change of line, a slight lift off as they went through the kink, and that opened the gap up. But going down in towards turn 5, side by side.
Right, well, heading towards turn 1 for their second last lap is your leaders, but we can keep an eye on this fight going on your screen there. That's between Huggett, Pretorius, Lucia, and just in the background, the yellow BMW of Gary Smith as they head under the City of Cape Town Bridge. That is that group of cars that we were talking about. Now, here we go, Pretorius, Huggett, Lucia, and Smith working their way out of Blockhoyne.
Yep, they are very close, but don't forget about Lambert. Lambert still got 2.3 seconds that he's broken away from everywhere else. And Carl Visser, try as he may, Jaco Lambert has got that one pinned up front. I don't believe anybody's going to catch him with 2 to go.
Lambert and Visser will be working their way down that back straight. There goes Lambert, there's Visser. Right there with him. There was 2.3 seconds between them when they started this lap. We're now heading towards the end of it as they make their way out of Fostron Corner to end the penultimate lap and start their final lap.
Yep, going into the final lap, and well, I don't believe Visser is going to be able to catch him. A bit of a gap, 11 seconds as we wait for the next battle to come through. That is Pretorius, Huggett, and Lycia has closed up. Smith, although he's Class B, remember that's a Class A battle that's going on in front of him, but he is the leading Class B car out there from Van Rooyen.
Yeah, there comes Wilson, and then behind Wilson we'll see Graham Van Rooyen coming to view now. There comes that red Golf of Van Rooyen, and he is putting the plug. He's disappearing down the road, but here comes Clinton Besaidenout, and not too far behind Besaidenout we've got Dylan Hubert. There goes Van Rooyen. Here comes Besaidenout into one. Then Dylan Hubert, who's leading his Class C. Dylan Hubert, and he's been chased down here by Griffin Wintle, that is in P11 and first in Class D.
Jaco Lambert, for the last time, the blue flags were waving as he passed some of the back markers. He's done a brilliant job. It just gets quicker and more consistent race for race. Jaco Lambert is going to take the checkers.
Lambert will come home in P1 across the line. Kyle Visser will finish in that second spot. Couple of back markers towards the checkered flag. That's Adam Omer. He's a back marker. And here comes MP Pretorius to the flag. Jess Huggett right in there behind him, followed by Michael Lycia and by Gary Smith.
Now, Smith comes through to complete his race. And now we've got a bit of a gap. It'll be Van Rooyen in the red Golf. You saw him come through there now, just out of picture. And then behind Van Rooyen, who is a second in class. And I believe Wayne Wilson has pulled off the circuit.
But here comes Clinton Besaidenout to the checkered flag, and behind him we have got Dylan Hubert. Then it is Griffin Wintle that finishes, and then the two BMWs right there with each other. That is Gemma O'Lean that gets to the flag 0.5 of a second ahead of Arno Michaels. Well, that's the top 12 to the line. David Vermaak finishing his race. And then Anton Jacobs and Arendse, they will finish their race. That is Lance Arendse, Anton Jacobs, Lance Arendse. Eva de Toy will finish with the Falcon, I think. Yes, and then right behind him in Class X is the Alpha of Cody Alberts. First time out in that brand new car. It can only get better and better from here.